The House of Lords, the second chamber of Parliament whose job is to prevent any government passing bad laws, which has been a thorn in the side of Boris Johnson, frustrating much of his legislation. But the firm owned and run by this man, Sir Lynton Crosby, has a cunning plan to fix it for Johnson or his successor. Crosby is the powerful lobbyist who has worked for Johnson and other Tory Prime Ministers, and a confidential paper seen by ITV News called Project Homer recommends creating 39 new loyal Tory peers this year, a huge number for a short period. Picking them from underrepresented regions like Wales and the North to provide useful cover against media backlash, and appointing controversial lords like the former Daily Mail editor Paul Dacre to distract media attention from the more important story, namely the way that the government would increase its control of the House of Lords. Perhaps the most contentious proposal is that the Prime Minister should reward peers for loyalty by wining and dining them at his grand country residence, Chequers, and appoint some of them as advisors and envoys, or give them honours like the CBE, the commander of the British Empire, which the paper says are seen by peers as especially valuable. What does a senior Tory peer make of the proposal?
Well, it betrays a total ignorance of what the House of Lords is about. It shows utter contempt for the House of Lords, and it doesn't begin to understand our constitution. So that's for starters.
And does Lord Cormac want his loyalty rewarded with dinners and honours?
It's an insult. It's an insult to people's intelligence. I consider myself a loyal Conservative. I have been in Parliament, Commons and Lords for 52 years now, and in the House of Lords, one's duty is first to the country.
Lord Burns is the former Whitehall Mandarin asked by the House of Lords to make the chamber more accountable and effective.
And the thought that we would have an ambition to have a House of Lords whereby the government could get its way without problems, in other words, that the House of Lords would just rubber stamp whatever it was that the House of Commons was to decide, would really be a major step backwards.
Labour is concerned.
I'm afraid this isn't just about Boris Johnson. Shadowy figures like Crosby have been involved with the Conservative Party and will continue to be, no matter which leadership candidate wins out. We really need a fresh start for our politics.
When asked about the CT Partners paper, Number 10 said, "This is not a government document and doesn't represent government policy. Unsolicited advice is often received and disregarded." Lynton Crosby's CT Partners said the paper was an early working copy of a paper prepared for an unnamed think tank and seen by just a small group of unnamed individuals. But the big question for the candidates to succeed Boris Johnson is whether they're attracted to stuffing the House of Lords with Tory supporters, because they're not ditching any of the controversial new laws he's proposed, especially those related to Brexit, that the Lords will want to change, perhaps beyond recognition.